Hey everyone, hope you've all been doing well and staying safe during this time of shelter in place. I'm here to just give you guys a little bit of encouragement. I have a short passage I want to read for you guys, and then I have some announcements at the end, so stay tuned for that. The passage that I want to share with you guys is from Hebrews. This entire book really is pointing to the importance of Jesus and his life, his ministry, and his sacrifice. And the entire chapter of chapter 11 lists a bunch of historical figures from the Old Testament, people such as Noah, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, all of these people, and the faith that they had in their life and the faith that God showed as well. And the chapter ends with these two verses. This is Hebrews 11, 39 and 40. And all these, having gained approval through their faith, did not receive what was promised, because God had provided something better for us, so that apart from us, they would not be made perfect. And this is kind of just saying, alluding to the gospel message, really the new promise, the new covenant that God provided to his people generations later. And this really kind of sealed everything. And this is kind of the ultimate promise that God gave us, so that we can be reconnected with him and that we can have a personal relationship with him again without having to do, these animal sacrifices and these rituals that they had in the past and these laws. Now we're simply able to say that we believe in Jesus and we put our security in him. And through that, we're able to have a new life and be reborn into God's kingdom. So moving on from that, the next three verses, this is going into chapter 12 now. Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him who has endured such hostility by sinners against himself, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. So these verses really talk about, when we fix our eyes upon Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, he will give us strength and courage really to run this race, run this marathon that is life, and to turn away from sin as we do so. I think turning away from sin is so much easier said than done. As humans, we naturally are sinful. We naturally are broken. So by nature, we want to sin. We sin. It's not like someone's, holding us against our will to sin and to do all these bad things that we don't want to. It's really like when we sin, we have that desire within ourselves. We really want to sin, and that's why we do it. So it's often so ingrained in our everyday lives that we don't really notice all the sin and the brokenness that we have. And to simply kind of be aware of our own sinfulness is and can be a hard thing. I know that for me personally, really in kind of like the past year, maybe 2 years, I've been doing a lot more personal reflections, because I've never really grown up being a very reflective person, but I've really been spending more time kind of thinking about why I do certain things or why I react in certain ways, and why I behave in certain ways. Like, why do I get defensive naturally when I feel like offended by certain people, even though they're not, trying to necessarily attack me or anything? Why do I get so incredibly offended by certain statements that people make, even if they're not even directed at me or about me, or if they don't, even if they don't have anything to do with me? Why do I get so offended? And why do I feel bitterness in my heart toward maybe people in my life who have wronged me, maybe even accidentally on their part without knowing? Why do I still have bitterness? So all of these things, like as I reflect on them more and more, like I'm starting to realize just how deep my sinfulness is and how deeply broken I am and how much I need God and his gospel to continuously transform me. Even though I, am Christian already, I've already been born again, I still need that continuous transformation as I continue my life with him. And, like having this enduring heart, being able to constantly be in this marathon that is life, and to continuously say, like, I'm going to turn away from sin and I'm going to run after God is hard. Like in everyday life, there are so many things that we just turn a blind eye to. But I think this passage is just such an encouragement because it's saying that because of what God has already done, even though it's not easy to have discipline, even though it's not easy to continuously seek personal growth, both spiritually and like in every other aspect of life, we can, have faith and we can trust in God and put our security in him. And as we continue to just look toward him and have the desire in our hearts to be more like him, we will not grow weary and lose heart, and we will be able to, have hope. So hopefully that was encouraging for you guys to some extent. I have a few weekly announcements for you guys as well. So as you guys have probably already seen with the alerts and the news, our current shelter-in-place order has been extended to May 3rd. So this does obviously affect our ministry as well. So we will be continuing to do these online videos for you guys to provide encouragement, and we will be still posting the live Sunday services for you guys on YouTube. So make sure to every week join in and continue to pray for your fellow brothers and sisters in this ministry. And yeah, we will continue to produce content on Instagram as well, hopefully to create more engagement for you guys. The second thing is that this week is communion. So during Sunday service, we will be taking communion together virtually. So hopefully you guys will take some time to prepare whatever you need, whether it be grape juice or some crackers and bread. Have that prepared so that we can take communion together. And then the last thing is that Easter will no longer, be an in-person service, but it will still be a joint service with all of the congregations from church. So instead of the usual youth service on our Youth Sunday Service YouTube account, we will be linking the Shekinah Glory Chinese side main service on our youth webpage. So just go to our website and the link will be there on there next week. So please join us for that. And we will continuously update our social media, Instagram, and all of that for you guys to stay up with the news and with whatever we hope to do. So hope you guys are, having a great week, and I'll see you later.